What's going on, guys? It's Unknown Player here, and today we'll be talking all about our new enemy in the Rise of Iron, being a variant of the Fallen called the Devil Splicers. We're going to be going over the enemies we're facing, from the dregs to the bosses, what they look like, their weapons, exactly what they are. So kind of similar to Taken in the fact that they're based off of an enemy we already have, which is the Fallen, but they're kind of mutated and slightly adapted. With the Taken, it was of course Oryx who had the power to actually take enemies and make them into his perfect version, and it made them Taken with new enemies, new abilities. But these Fallen, in a similar way, they get to actually augment themselves and use Golden Age technology to make them a perfect version of themselves with this crazy technology, and they look slightly different as well. They're of course going to have new attacks and new weapons, so I want to dedicate this video to talk all about the Devil Splicers, what they are, where they came from, and what kind of things to expect in the Rise of Iron. So I'm going to read off a bunch of descriptions we've gotten from Bungie about the Devil Splicers and the things we know so far. Firstly, they said that fallen mutants now scavenge the tombs of the Golden Age. The Devil Splicers have broken through the walls, dug deep into the earth, and found technology of almost limitless power. The Splicers are using this forbidden technology called SIVA to transform the region to fit their twisted desires. So SIVA, S-I-V-A, is a name you're going to hear quite a lot throughout this expansion, and it's the main theme. It is the evil that has been mutated and allows the Fallen to actually manipulate it for their own personal gain, and that is what the Iron Lords actually sacrifice themselves to try and prevent spreading, and that is basically the plague, and that is what causes all the evil that we're trying to prevent, and that's essentially the main theme of this expansion. So the Splicers of the House of Devils have uncovered the ultimate technology SIVA, a Golden Age breakthrough in self-assembling, self-replicating nanotechnology. The Fallen have always worshipped machine gods, but now armed with SIVA, the Devil Splicers are becoming machine gods themselves, confront the Devil Splicers in the Plague Lands, find the source of SIVA, and contain the outbreak at any cost. So as it turns out, every Fallen house apparently has Splicers, who are body hackers and bioengineers. These Splicers meld flesh and machine. The Devil Splicers are loyal to the House of Devils, and now they have the ultimate technology SIVA, and they're using it to transform themselves. Instead of worshipping machine gods, the Devil Splicers will become machine gods themselves. So that is the description of the actual Splicers and what they're doing, and as it seems, every house has their own Splicers, and they're almost like these crazy scientists like doctors that are trying to fuse machine and also flesh. We actually already have an example of someone who's been aided by the Splicers and someone who's actually been helped by their technology, and that is Taniks the Scarred, who of course is the Fallen Strike boss. This guy already has a massive amount of prosthetics, and in his Grimoire card we can see that the Fallen describe him to be undying, and he is believed to be an undying living huntsman whose physical self is joined with a mix of technologies, each rifled from legendary treasure troves. So Taniks is a perfect example of someone who's definitely been in contact with Splicers, but it seems like the Devil Splicers are onto something else, and they've actually discovered SIVA, which has taken their technology to the next level, and they're becoming regenerative and also machine gods. It's this exact reason why the Fallen are personally my favourite race in Destiny. I think they're by far the most interesting, and I love all their weird mechanics and devices they come up with, and this SIVA tech shows how desperate they are to become powerful, and I can already imagine we're going to be facing some crazy messed up mutations in the raid as bosses, and I cannot wait to see more of these Devil Splicers. So like I said, the Devil Splicers are part of the House of Devils as a whole. They're all part of that house, but this is like a division of them that seem to have grown with the SIVA technology. We're also going to be finding the normal Fallen Devils in the Plague Lands as well. So it's not just going to be the Splicers, we're also going to see the normal House of Devils, which is cool as well. So there's going to be a variety of Fallen enemies. Now, in terms of the enemy types, we have the Dregs, of course, at the lowest class. These guys that you can see right here, they've got peg legs that look pretty funny and definitely quite weak. They've still got the same weapons they always have in that kind of shock blade and also the shock rifle, so they're not going to be too menacing. We also have the Vandals, as you can see right here. These guys look really awesome. They literally look like devils with their red eyes and their black horns. They look really intimidating. And as you can see, they're using the same weapons they always have. We can see the wire rifle, which is of course that sniper, similar to the Queenbreaker's bow that we have, and also the shrapnel launcher, which is the Lord of Walls, and that is their shotgun type weapon. This guy at the front with all the horns appears to be a captain. Looks very different to what we've normally expected, but this guy is definitely the elevated version, so I'm guessing he is the captain, and the guys behind him are the Vandals. We can also see the Servitor right here, very similar to what we've already seen, but he appears to have like a different faceplate and a little bit more armor on top of him. We can also see the Shank in the background here. This guy looks pretty similar to what we've already seen, but he's got these kind of orange and red wires coming out from him. Doesn't seem too different to what we've already seen with the Shank, so he's probably not going to be too intimidating as an enemy. So you might recognize this guy. He was also spotted in the Yellowhorn trailer in the Strike Boss room. So this guy appears to be alongside the Machinist, and you probably recognize him as the Strike Boss in the Saber Strike. So this actually makes a lot of perfect sense for him to be around here. But during the strike, we actually heard that this Shank was modified to hack into Rasputin, and based on the information we just learned, I'm guessing that these saber shanks are actually modified and created by these splicers. It definitely sounds like the thing they would do, melding technology and modifying them. So I'm guessing these splicers actually created them. So again, it makes a lot more sense for them to be here. And seeing as the SIVA tech is actually related in some way to Rasputin, it does make a lot of sense for these saber shanks to be around, because they were created with the purpose of hacking into Rasputin and finding Golden Age technology, which is exactly what seems to happen. So my theory is that these sabers actually were successful, and maybe they found the SIVA tech they were looking for, and this Devil Splicers is the actual result with all this crazy technology. So if we go further up the chain, we can find one of the biggest bosses we know of so far, and this is an ultra fallen enemy. His name is the Machinist, and we can see him in the Yellowhorn trailer being fired at, and this guy is probably a strike boss. As you can see, he is very modified, and here's a definition of someone who's been melded with technology and flesh. He's got like 16 eyes, and he's very mechanical with a lot of prosthetics. He seems to fade around the area with this red energy, which seems to be SIVA. So this is probably one of the biggest bosses we've been facing, and this guy's definitely been experimenting quite a lot with the SIVA technology. So that has been an in-depth look at the Devil Splicers and all the enemies we can expect in the Rise of Iron expansion. A lot of crazy stuff, and I'm definitely looking forward to facing these guys. Drop a like rating on the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more videos on the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.